But it's we've grown into it. You learn some things. You learn you can't be everywhere at once, and then finding
you have
those
to
right
start
people
giving some of the responsibilities away. That you do everything in the beginning.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard.
But we actually started in the same year. I saw 2016.
Yeah, we opened in the beginning of June.
June.
Yeah.
Okay.
June 30th was our grand opening, but we just kind of
we
had a soft
before.
opening in the beginning.
Soft, it was not very soft. We opened,
you
it was...
we opened in August of 2016, so... But, hey, it's the same season.
It was a good time to open.
Same time. So, okay, so we're going to get into how you guys started the business. Like, that whole story is really exciting and interesting. But it's also called the Honeymoon Coffee Podcast. We can forget about the coffee part for a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
the honeymoon.
There's a relationship component. Like you
we
guys
didn't do any honeymoon anyway.
Yeah, what's a honeymoon?
I mean, we did other vacation after that time.
Yeah, what's a vacation? But I thought what might be fun is actually to start out with, instead of you two individually sort of maybe introducing yourselves or telling your story, that you tell her story and she tells yours.
Yeah, we should have told that in a different room, maybe.
Watch yourself.
I know she's gonna like it, really. All right.
Well, who should go first?
So we start what from the birth date, or when we met, or just when you start the business.
What you know about her? If you were to tell somebody, you are going to tell some people what they need to know about Katy. How would you tell that story leading up to when she met you, and then we'll switch, and then Katy can tell about you leading up to that moment. Then you guys can sort of blend it together.
First, I'm a little bit older than Katy, so I will lie about how good she is, in case somebody will be very interested and say, "Gosh, she seemed to be a great girl and good looking." On the top of that, I say, "Am I going to try to? This guy, is getting older. Maybe soon I can have, put my foot on the door and get her." So I cannot say the truth about how good it is. Number one is about relationship. I always say that luck, about meeting the right person, and after you get to know her. So, who is Katy? Katy is a brain of the family. I'm the dreamer a little bit. I was. Little by little, she take over even the dreaming part of it. She's somebody who put a smile on her face, and that changed everything. I'm the one who doesn't wake up in a very good mood. She's the one who get going with a smile, and the smile always helped me to tell to myself, yeah, that's the one. Is definitely, because if we are too in this. Bad moodness of morning, especially, would not work. We'll fight.
It sounds familiar already.
I know, this is very familiar.
So it's somebody who got love for me, and I hope still, that she was happy to be with me and do whatever to be with me. In a sense,
you have good ideas.
Yeah, I made a sense of. For example, when I met her, she was still collecting data for a PhD, and after that, she has to write it down. So normally you go back to university, you teach a couple class, and you get paid for that. She never went back. She said, "Doesn't matter about the money. We don't care. I don't care about the money. I don't have any money. I stay with you." So that already was a big proof of love, saying, I could back and forth do my class, we meet, somebody will be more in a career, more in a myself, me first. Mm-hmm. That was the first sign. No, it's not me first, it's you and me. Mm-hmm. So that is the number one quality. We're not going to talk about attraction, of course. If you're not attracted to the person, you don't even say hi. Or you need times to know the person and everything. Katy has the first sight, always I like you already.
Love at first sight for you?
No, it was not a love at first sight. She grew in me. She grew in me. She was a little cutie, 12 years younger than me. I was already 40 years old. She was still a student. It was for me. It was it's little by little. get into me without even pushing, without even, that's what I say, the smiles, I want to be with you, whatever we do. So all that takes to the idea where we are here. So by knowing her, I met the family very soon. I asked her to meet the family because I told her, I'm 40, I come from long relationship. I thought maybe going back to 20s and party all the time. In fact, no, I was with her. I said, no, I don't want to lose my time. Let's meet your parents because that's very important for me to know where you come from. Mm-hmm. And she knew my parents anyway. When we met. Mm-hmm. So, and it works perfectly. I mean, the family in Kentucky family are super welcome. I don't know the other, but my in-law are amazingly nice, even nicer than I was expected because I was 12 years old younger. I was different culture, different background. I was a small entrepreneur. At that time, I owned a small pizza place in Miami. I don't know if I was really the right in-law that they were expecting. Sure. I'm not sure, but they are like, you choose him, which we accept him without even a question.
That's great. So
by coming time to time, after 2 years of our relationship, I find out that first we can grow wine in Kentucky. Mm. So we come back to her. She said, yeah, don't know. I mean, not. Well, she was fine in Miami. Always happy. Tried to find a life over there. We lived 6 years in Miami, and I come with a crazy idea, knowing that they had the family had family land with a meaning, with the old barn from the 40 built by the great-grandfather. And I came with a crazy idea, say, stop Miami, we come here. And she looked at me like, what? What? I mean, for me, I have zero chance to find a position as a doctor in anthropology because there's no university around would do that.
Here in Kentucky.
Around Henderson.
The whole area.
That's what my degree was in.
Yeah. And again, the love, and I push her. I didn't push her. I came with the idea that we could do that. There's something missing in this area. I think we just got a kid also that pushed my, maybe that's why my idea came. I say, we need to be close to family. My father used to live in Miami, but just left before my son's born, or at the moment. So we end up, I didn't see myself, but me, without not talking with her. So she definitely followed me, even if I was telling her how hard it is, a restaurant business, because I wondered how hard it is. And she was telling me, you don't never live in a small town, you don't know what it is neither, and everything. And she said, you want to do it, we do it. So she ended up in a business that she doesn't know anything about. Mm-hmm. She has to learn about it. I mean, always said to me, that's why maybe I have this diploma, is to be able to figure out things faster than the other. And she totally follow me. So how describe her is, I know she loved me.
She loves you. That's perfect, because he's described himself a little bit as a dreamer here, and he describes you as the brain. So how would you
share it?
We change with time.
Well, tell us about this. Tell us about this gentleman to your left here.
Yeah. Well, we definitely share the burden, and we can't be in charge of the same thing. We discovered that we have to be in charge of separate things. So he describes me as the brain, but he's the one who does all the paperwork.
It's important.
It's gotta get done.
I'm the academic, and he's the actual business skills is him. But
where did he come from? I sense a slight accent.
Yes.
In you, so, but I can understand everything he's saying.
Nobody, you're gonna have to put subtitles. Usually that's what happens.
Subtitles on a podcast.
Transcript.
So he is Parisian. He's the only Parisian in his family, though, and everybody else is Italian, Tunisian, and then French after that. So he was the first French-born person in his family. Everybody else was Italian, Tunisian. And So whenever people come to our place, they are surprised that we have an Italian selection, and it's because of his heritage being Italian. But then, of course, French is his favorite food. That was his nationality. So that's he probably likes French food and French wine the best. So grew up in Paris, and he became a civil engineer, and his family was really pushing the corporate life. His mom worked for L'Oreal, so this was the way to live if you were going to live in Paris.
Wow.
But meantime, his father was traveling around different locations, Morocco, Switzerland, New York, Miami, in the restaurant business. And so his dad opened a restaurant in Miami that was doing really well. He would go visit his dad for vacation, so the restaurant life seemed more glamorous than Paris and L'Oreal.
Civil engineering.
And so he really did.
What year would this have been in Miami? People put their...
Gosh. So your dad moved to Miami in 1980?
88. In Miami in 1988, yeah.
Okay.
It was in-
Post Miami Vice era.
Yeah.
It's still a fun place.
And then whenever he was in his early 30s, he actually had cancer, and it was a big change to his life because he said, "Gosh, I don't want to live in this civil engineering world anymore." Like, I guess
I can't
you
imagine.
kind of whenever you're faced with death, I guess you kind of change your
a little bit, yeah.
your life around. So he he said, "That's it. I'm going to go with my dad and be a restaurateur with my dad." So he moved to Miami, and then he actually had the cancer hit again, so he had to. Even though the restaurant was open, he had to go back to Paris for more treatments. But I think that really helped him discover how to manage and how to set up a team that can take care of a place while he's away.
Yeah.
Well, one good thing
That's
that
true.
came out of it.
Yeah. We'll try to spin that positively. And then you guys ended up meeting in Miami?
And so then we met in Miami, and so that was...
And you were in Miami for school, is that correct?
Well, I went to University of Alabama.
Okay.
And I was working on my PhD in anthropology. And whenever you get a PhD in anthropology, you have to do field work for 1 year. And I had decided that I was going to do my field work in Cuba. And so I went to Cuba for about a month, and I said, "Gosh, this is really hard," because I couldn't make any phone calls. I couldn't send emails very easily. I had friends who were also doing field work at the same time. They're in the middle of nowhere in Guatemala, and they're using a satellite phone to call their professor. So the communication was helping them get finished a little bit faster. Me, I felt like it was going to take forever.
So you were like working in like a spot with folks that just didn't have technology and connections? Like you were working with like...
No, it was because of the embargo.
Yeah.
So...
okay.
So-
Cuba, I mean, and they're watching you also because she was studying.
So, and I was also worried that, maybe they would take my research and be like, no, we don't like the way this is spinning us. So,
wow.
So I said, how
Interesting.
about so then I said, I'll go to Miami, because all the research I've done so far won't be for naught. I can focus on Miami Cubans, and then I can finish my dissertation.
Good idea.
Because everybody says a finished dissertation is better than a good dissertation.
A good unfinished.
So just get it finished. So it's not like I didn't have any passion behind it, but I was also, my parents weren't just like going to fund this research lifestyle for me, so I needed to get it done. So I go to Miami for, I guess I was there about 2 months, and then I met him at a party that I was invited to by a group of Cubans, and they invited me to this party called French Tuesday. Okay. So it was a party for expats to be able to speak French, like in a swanky lounge in Miami.
Yeah.
And so well, I started talking to him.
Did you speak French?
Yeah, that's gonna
And
be
then
my
he asked
question.
me, "Do you speak French?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Why are you here?" And I said,
He said next.
"Well," I said, "I came with these Cubans because I'm researching Cubans." And he's like, "What?"
So I say champagne. So let's get champagne, a real champagne coming from Champagne. It was a Moet.
Yeah, so he did buy me champagne. And so that was it. That's what we consider our anniversary, was the day that we met. So we always
Wow.
That's a
celebrate
cute story.
on that day.
We're trying.
Okay, so now you guys meet, and we got a little bit of the story of how the idea sort of formed in your mind, and then so he pitches it to your parents. Is that what? Tell us about the pitching about the idea.
Oh,
what
gosh,
you remember
well,
from it?
actually somebody talked to us about the idea first.
Oh, okay.
So
Someone planted the seed.
Yes. So we're on vacation with my dad's side of the family, and so my parents are divorced and remarried. So this was my stepsister's husband. So my step brother-in-law is he really hits it off with Hubert, and they have fun chit-chatting over the campfire, drinking some wine that he was able to find in the Smoky Mountains.
Okay, so Smoky Mountain vacation, camping.
And so his name's Tommy. You might have noticed on the menu there's a Farmer Tommy pizza.
So
he
his
says,
namesake.
in Kentucky they're really pushing like wine and grape growing to replace tobacco. So this is
I
like
didn't know this.
2000.
12?
No, this is
13?
2000. This is 2011.
11? Oh, even
Yeah,
before.
we decided in 12 to do it.
True, you're right.
So
She's right.
So we say, "Oh, you can get a grant." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like $1,000 grant. It was,
Still,
It was a grant. You don't have to pay those back.
so we went. I said, "Okay, yeah, maybe we could do this." But then he said it could be me and you, being
Farmer.
a farmer and Frenchman, because he was the farmer and Hubert is the Frenchman.
Okay.
Well, then we start getting committed about doing this, and he said, "Gosh, this is Tommy. This is gonna be really hard, and I don't know. It sounds really risky. I don't think I can. I don't.
He backed out.
I don't think I can't do it." And I was like, "Well, that's fine. I'll just be the farmer because I'm from here." And then my research in anthropology is a lot about urban agriculture and local farming, local food, that kind of thing.
No, but you're working organic food.
And then I worked of course. I mean, growing up, I worked on a farm, had horses, and then in Alabama, while I was working on my research, I also worked at an organic farm. So I could say I was a farmer.
Yes, it was not a stretch.
Not really.
And so the idea was that I would take care of the grapes and he would take care of the kitchen. But it turned out that we ended up with a lot more than just...
I was going to say,
grapes
it's evolved
and
into a
kitchen.
lot more than that.
So now I take care of events and cabins and soon to be the yoga studio. And of course, a lot of the growing in the garden and the animals and the
So my
microgreens.
role doesn't grow, but hers is getting more and more
That's
responsibility.
why you said you're rubbing off
stay in
on
the
her.
kitchen.
No, I was a dreamer at the time. I decided to go with this idea that she didn't see it at all. And little by little, she's the one who, for example, you are in this room. This room was only a cover area, totally open. And she said, "That's it, we're going to enclose it." And me, I say, "I'm done.
You take
I have
it,
one
yeah.
idea with 10 years. We're here only for 8 years."
For the listener, we are in kind of a covered dining area that extends from the restaurant into, looks like
the old barn where we do the
event
wedding.
space. I mean, it's beautiful. There's garage doors. We've got the windows open. We're staring off at a vineyard, a beautiful blue sky. And
beautiful day today, yeah.
so whoever's vision it was, we can attest that the execution is excellent.
Yes.
Well, it
go
was
ahead.
because of COVID, really, that we discovered people even wanted to be in this space that we're in right now. We had the restaurant, the deck, and the event venue, and those were the spaces that people occupied for the first 4 years that we were open. And then during COVID, everybody, as you know, had to spread out.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have this walkway that it's just it was like a boardwalk with a roof. And it was just a walkway between the restaurant and the event venue. And so we saw that was a space that people like to spread out for the social distancing, because we could only have maybe 4 tables inside the restaurant. And then even on the deck, you had to have them 6 feet apart. So that was really... So we started bringing them over here because it was... And they liked it. They liked hanging out here. So during COVID, we bought these little tent walls to cover the side of the walkway, so that we could keep people outside a little bit longer.
Sure.
And then after a couple of years, the tent walls were kind of dirty, and I was just tired of looking at these tent walls, and so we ripped them down and expanded this times 2, and now we call it the promenade. Now we call it
There you go.
yeah.
Another good thing that came out of COVID.
Right.
Okay, so that's about 4 years into when you guys established. You launched in 2016. And I think as we've been picking up on the story, 2011, 2012 or so was when things hit an inflection point. So get us from 2012 to 2016 and maybe some of the big decisions that had to be made, or pivots or roles that you all had to decide on in order to get to the opening.
I mean, I had a very clear idea of what the project will be. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I wanted to go wine. My first idea was less food, more wine, and me switch. Since I was working, helping a friend of mine in Miami, and I had time to go on the road with him, and I ended up to train the seller how to sell the wine, what pair with, and everything. I said, gosh, I love that. At first, I was drinking wine anyway. Since I'm 24 years old, so...
He knows a lot about wine. He will tell you that he's not a sommelier.
No, I'm not.
But anytime we're with anybody, you always...
I didn't study exactly where is exactly the region.
But he can
whatever.
Taste it and tell. As long as it's the French ones. Yeah.
And so wine was my first idea. After little by little, we came here. We start to study. We start to build a business plan. So, what makes the difference is our business plan was excellent. So excellent because she write it down. I give the idea. I put the number, and she did what she knows how to do: market study, how to present it. And we were very modest because we were planning to live here and to be totally a part of the employee. And it was totally true. It was my road book. I needed something not... I didn't want to lie on paper. I really, for me, to say, I'm not going to make it. I bring a kid here. I'm going to put what I got on here. Her parents give us the land. It has to work one way or another. We have to put everything on our side. So I wanted a multiple income. So we end up to say, okay, food is more important than what we thought, because when we start to eat around...
Nobody wants to come all the way out here and
have a charcuterie, cheese tray, and a salad, and some pizza, and buy.
Yeah.
So it was more demand. And when we opened, the menu was super simple. I had only pasta, very simple things. And people asked me already, okay, when are you going to have a steak and everything? so we realized that we were switching more to a food. We got super lucky that the business plan was so well done that Small Business Association drove from Cincinnati and told us, we don't finance hospitality. This is hospitality. Yeah. I said, not totally. We got wine. We're going to sell wine because we have a plan to have a distributor company separate. We have to be separate and to have all this income and try to sell the wine. We knew where to make the wine. We have the resource and the help. We knew also that when we build, we have extra room to do bed and breakfast, staying with us.
Another
revenue stream, whatever it takes. And they say, but your business plan is so well done, we wanted to meet you. And it works. And we didn't get the full money that we wanted. Actually, we ended up to be short, and her parents had to come in. That we get the bank the local bank follow us.
And an SBA loan.
That SBA loan give 20, and the rest is the bank. And the bank follow if SBA follow.
Sure.
The bank helped us to do everything paper-wise. I got a great guy, at this time, who really spent the time and find a way to make it happen. But after that, the bank follow if SBA say, okay, we guarantee a part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
So we were in Miami whenever
Yes.
we were doing all of this, because all it was the barn,
The barn.
that was dilapidated.
Yes.
It's
So
built
this
in
barn has been here for decades?
1940. My
Oh, wow.
great-grandfather built it, yeah.
Oh, that's a great story behind it.
And-
That's why I was very excited about it.
And
This is
so we started
renovated.
patching up the barn, and then we started working on the loan application.
yeah.
And it took about a year of applying and going to banks, getting turned down. I mean, we probably went to 10 at
Oh,
least.
wow.
But I mean, we had nothing to lose because we lived in Miami and we would just fly home every once in a while and
Try to get a loan.
and try to get a loan. And then we go back on the road.
So the legend says that I didn't get any engagement ring to Katy because I put my money
In the barn.
In the
That's
barn.
true.
in the bar
That's
before
true.
That's your engagement ring,
before
right?
the finance before that the bank will accept our financement and before we will be sure that we will be able to do it. I was so sure in my mind that I'm gonna make it that I put money right away because the roof was starting to go, the door was totally open. I said, I don't want this falling.
Sure, sure.
It was October 2012, and we start to put a fence, a door,
A gate.
a gate, sorry, a gate, and I started to put some money in the barn to be sure that it's going to be secure, that we do the doors, the roof, and I put, I remember 18,000 like this, and everybody, my mother-in-law, which we were not even married yet.
Maybe, yeah, I
I
guess
don't
not.
remember.
We
And,
opened a business when we weren't married either.
we were
Similar
together.
story.
And he was, we're not married, we have no kids, no nothing. Yeah, true. And I put them, I was so sure that in my mind that it's going to be done that I say, I do it. But
And
it's true
you
after that.
thought the story was so important that you wanted to invest your money
Exactly.
in keeping the barn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I say, worst to worst, we get married in it.
And then we never did. We just got
No.
married in the living room.
Yeah, in Miami, because we were in the middle of all that. It was it. It was too late. I mean, we were.
So did you all find that when you started investing the money into that unlocked more energy to put towards it, almost like using the sunk cost fallacy to your advantage of like, okay, we put money into it, now we need to put more money into everything else. Did you guys find that to unlock more energy and
I think
investment?
that is really true. It feels like
No way out.
There's
Yeah.
always
We're all in.
Yeah, we're all
It
in.
just feels like the faucet is always on.
Even today, right?
It's like
But-
playing poker. You're too far away to say no. That's it. You put too much. You didn't say no at the first round. So that's it. You're in, and
You
you
just gotta
you want to
keep
see.
going all in.
You want to see
exactly.
if you're going to make it. And because that became very important. Yeah, that's it. I'm too far away, and I cannot go back. I mean, it's.
Now it makes me wonder, were there any moments to where you all thought we made a mistake? Like that this is
No.
we're too far in, I wish we could go back, but we can't.
Ne-
Okay, so
For
it
sure,
was
never where we thought it was a mistake. There was times where we thought, oh gosh, maybe we aren't going to make it, but it wasn't like it was a mistake.
Still
Yeah,
worth
still wanted,
pursuing
we
all
still
the way.
wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was.
Do you make the wine on site?
We used to do a part of it, and we used to have 900 square foot. I was making some wine and storage. It became that my wine production was needed, was too big, and I was lucky enough that I was working already with another. It's a winery. We got a production area separate, and lucky to meet them. I meet them very early and say, okay, we're going to do some wine together a little bit and see what's going on. I even make wine with them before I open in 2013.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Again, money that I bought the grape and everything, but it was not our name on it, not at all. I was making with them because I want to. And with them, we could be together to buy like grapes from California, Lake County, California, some for Washington, because local-wise, I was waiting for our grapes to grow, it was not
How long
yet.
does that take? How long does it take for grapes to be?
We plant in 2015, but the grape was already 1 year old. It takes 3 years before you can harvest something.
Okay.
So I wanted to have a wine that I know, also, and not only local wine. I taste, of course. I went to Lexington, Louisville, and everything. Went to the winery, taste what they were doing, what is it. I say I need to add something else beside the local grapes. I'm never going to be able to have wine to pair what I want to do. It's not going to work. Even for simple pasta, most of the wine are sweet. Some are dry, but that not the dry that I say.
You wanted the complexity of the.
Yeah, I wanted to have something to be able to go with my food. So I end up to do now. I'm driving over there. It's 2 hours away, and all my wine is made over there.
You make the wine 2 hours away
Yeah.
here, and that is a part of the business to this day of how
all my
how-
equipment are there. That belong to them now because I mean they make wine for me, so that's it. I mean I bought like oak barrel, my steel tank and everything. I mean they got everything there. I said that's it. Forget about it. I said,
finding the right partners to
Yes.
realize the vision and all that.
So yeah, lucky to meet the right person. So it came the step come little by little, naturally, until we got some problem on the road, of course. But we met the right person.
Yeah. So last week we stayed in one of their cabins, which was super cute. Loved it. Yeah. What year did you guys decide to do that, or was it from the get-go you had this?
Well, we knew that we wanted to have people stay because we just thought it was a beautiful space, and we knew that people would want to stay here. So in the beginning, we were going to be upstairs. Well, I'm saying upstairs. The restaurant is on the bottom floor. Our home is on the top floor.
Okay.
So we were going to have some bed and breakfast rooms on the top floor with us.
We did.
And we created it so that we could, like, the living room and kitchen are in the middle, and then you have the bed and breakfast rooms on one side of the house, and then on the other side is our rooms. But whenever we designed this, we didn't have any children yet, and then, but we still had their rooms over on our side.
Well, at least you get to separate them.
But we thought, it'll be okay. They'll be fine. The kids will just be quiet in the morning, and then we realized that kids are not quiet.
They're never quiet.
So a few times we had people spend the night for the bed and breakfast, especially for the weddings, but some people that just found us on Airbnb and stuff. And I would have to go stay at my mom's house with the children so that they wouldn't wake them up in the morning. So we said, we can't do this.
You can't even live in your own house.
Right. We can't do this.
You're like, this is not going to work.
Yeah, we got somebody from Hollywood coming here, stopping by, and stay with us with her team and everything. So I was alone with them, and be sure that everything went fine.
Yeah.
Because Katie, that's a big fly.
And it's a horse fly.
So you want to open it?
No, it's okay. So, but
What year was? Sorry, to follow up on your question, that was when you opened the Airbnb. B&B was opened at 2016.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
So then 2018, so 2 years into it, we said that we gotta have some cabins,
Some space.
So we started on the cabins in 2018, and they were all finished in about a year, I guess. They were all finished. So those are fun because people can be here, but they're not in the house with us.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I would love it if they were in the house with me.
Yeah. Kenny told me you have to put everything.
I like hospitality, but
you
would get overwhelmed because you're, when you're in hospitality, you're in it all day long.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I needed to see people coming from city. I didn't want to be in the middle of nowhere and have no action. That for me, it was a need.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you had Hollywood guests. I imagine. I mean, we've had this place recommended for us to stay, for a long. Not that we're Hollywood guests by any means. That wasn't what I was implying. But who are some of the other guests or guest experiences that you've remembered or that are highlights?
Well, I won't give any names.
Sure. But highlights of just. As the dream became reality.
I think I was I figured that we would have wedding guests that would stay there. And I assumed that we might have the occasional somebody from Newburgh or Owensboro or somebody, about 30 minutes away would just want to come over and stay for a little getaway. But I didn't realize that we would have repeat customers, people who would come a lot and stay in the cabins, and people who would travel from Nashville, Louisville. Again, something that
Northern
kind of
California.
yeah,
Stay for while riding.
So some Wisconsin, they're
the lady
so
who
they're-
came to write the story of.
Oh yeah. So there was a, I guess she was an Emmy award winner.
Yeah.
She came and stayed in the cabins to do some writing, so that was interesting
Okay.
to have her here.
Fun.
And has it been word of mouth? Is this something you guys have marketed outside of our market to try and draw those folks in, or it's just people find it on the internet and see that
Yeah, we
people have
just-
been saying good things?
We
and-
just put it on social media and hope that it gets shared enough. So we have
Is that your role as well, Katie?
yes.
The whole marketing is her. She's the only one who knows how to write. I mean, I cannot do it.
When you guys started, was
poorly.
it, you said it was your step brother-in-law.
Yes.
I think there was another family member involved. Who were some of the other members of the early team
Oh, gosh.
or early people that you had to hire, and like what roles were they hired
Everybody,
for?
all the family had to help us in the beginning.
They
the
didn't
day
have,
we
I mean,
opened,
they didn't have. They
it's
voluntary
nearly,
came and working in the restaurant.
So-
My mother-in-law, until today, she's in charge of the vineyard. She really took over. She helped us so much. Her and her husband. Not too long ago, he was the one who was cutting my grass, and we stopped maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. For 8 years, he bought the mower, and he was cutting with the mower grass and taking a spraying. He's still spraying the grape for us and the vine
Yeah.
until one moment we're going to find a solution. So that helped us a lot.
So my parents are divorced and remarried. So I have 4 parents here, and then all of the stepsisters
Yeah,
and
when we
stepbrother.
opened, yeah.
And all of whenever we opened, I think I had 2 sisters in there. Working,
Yeah.
his dad was in the kitchen helping.
A little bit, yeah,
he was
when he came
retired, but came back
Little bit.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
to help
That's
us
really cool.
in the kitchen. And my stepmother was working at the cash register in the bar. But I mean, and then my mom and dad,
Still,
mom and stepdad are working in the vineyard and taking care of.
And our contractor is my
And then
my
the
father-in-law.
builder is my dad of the.
Oh, okay.
So
I was
he-
going to ask who your contractor was.
Yes.
Just for
Yeah.
just
Still-
for future
He's
projects.
still,
Yeah.
he's still finishing. And he's still,
I'll let him finish the yoga studio first.
Well, and the other question, I guess, with that is you've got folks that you're hiring as well, and so they probably obviously look up to you. You guys are the bosses, and then working with parents or step parents and in-laws and all of that. Like you're sort of still below them, in age and deference to their wisdom and everything like that. How have some of those dynamics worked, to where does everyone still know that you all are the bosses?
Oh yeah,
Or,
they trusted our inspiration and direction. So nobody tried to take over.
I mean, none of them ever work in the hospitality or restaurant business.
So they all deferred to him anyway.
So that was the things. Even after, we should not do like this, do like that. But at this moment, when I opened, I was in the kitchen 100%. I didn't see anything was going on. Really, she has to be in the front with that, not too much. We tried to hire people who work in the restaurant, but at this time, I didn't work out. I didn't find really people with experience in the front. So that's why the family stepped up, and it was a totally disorganized organization.
That's where we're at.
Whenever I see somebody, like in the community, they say, "Oh yeah, I came to your restaurant before," and I'm like, "Oh, when?" They say, "2016." I'm like, "Oh gosh, so we'll come back."
They're like,
Give
we
us
never
another
came
try.
back.
So the kitchen, I was in the kitchen, so I was organized because I knew I did that for a long time in Miami. At a smaller scale. With my father, it was bigger scale, but he was in charge. I was just executing. But in my pizza place, I got 7 employees, and I was doing pizza delivery, a little bit of sit down. So I knew exactly how, and I was controlling the menu. But 6 days a week. I mean, lucky for me, I say I close 2 days. Like this, I can breathe because I'm not going to be able to do it. And but it was 5 days, double from the morning to the night, non-stop, and I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And at one moment, my wife said to me, "You have to come out." because Farmer and Frenchman use a marketing tool. We need to see the French people. Some people don't even believe there's a real French person here.
He's hiding in the back.
So and we got lucky. I find somebody passionate and serious who's still with me today.
That's great.
It took him a while to get the level that he's doing, the level of food what he's doing now. But I brought a lot of teacher here because I knew many chefs. So we got 7 different chefs all over the year came and time to time guest chef, and he learned so much. We do wine dinners at my jam, 5-star. We do 5 courses. We do fine dining, serious fine dining for the and I'm looking for that. I'm waiting for that. It's every 2 months. Either way, I brought that. When I brought usually the guest chef a week before, and all the menu require a lot of technique, and that's at my chef, because today he can call himself a chef, able to open the cooler, create a menu immediately, organize it, and don't do always something different with the right price.
That's my favorite thing that we
with
do.
the right price. With the right price, he learned with all these people who came here, but he absorbed it, and he's really always in research, and that we are really a good team together. And I always told him, I say, you're my retirement plan, so you want to be partner, keep going. I'm 55 years old today, so it's coming fast.
Today's your birthday?
No, just
We were like,
This year.
You're still 55
March.
today.
I'm in March. This is March. I'm older than that. I wish to be today.
every day's a birthday.
So he allows you to have some work-life balance?
Oh yeah,
Having the chef?
he allowed me to go in the front. I ended up to managing the front.
Sure.
At the beginning, I was very involved. I'm still involved. I'm not involved as much as I should be, because that means again, from the morning to the night, every day, non-stop. Because people here, I never find somebody who got the knowledge of hospitality the way I wanted to manage a place. Somebody who's going to bring me something.
Yeah.
That means that I know what I know. Somebody who's going to come and say, this is the experience I got, I'm going to bring it. I tried from chain to great people, nice people, like them, still have a very good relationship, but didn't bring me anything in the organization.
But you're so passionate about the food and wine and being here that people love to see you. And
Yes,
talk
of course,
with you.
of course.
They love to get your recommendation on
Yes,
what to-
but that's why I'm not here enough. I should be more non-stop over there. But
Well, you mentioned you guys started a family. So how many children do you have?
10.
No.
It's not me. No, it's not somebody else.
So the kids, are you looking towards the future? Does it seem like something they're going to be interested in helping out, taking over someday? Is that too far to look down the line?
Well, they're just 7 and 10 right now. So whenever our 7-year-old was born here, but I really thought that the life was going to be like they were going to help me in the garden, and they were so they help. They're a part of it, but they're not too much. I mean, only as much as a 7 and 10-year-old can do. But I think they really enjoy that they can, run up and down the stairs and be in our house, and then run out into the garden, and then so.
Sometimes they don't really know how cool their life is until they get away a little bit
Right.
and then understand.
Oh, yeah,
I
they're
can
gonna
appreciate
understand.
these things now that I'm not experiencing them every day.
I think you wish for your kids to do something first they like, and second of all that bring enough money they can enjoy their own life. So I don't want them to pick by default. So this is a business, and again, my business is not international big company. We don't do
not a dynasty.
over 100 to 100.
You're not going to open up another farmer in the
Yeah.
Frenchman next year and the
a
year
million.
after that.
I don't do 200 million a year or 150 or whatever it is. So it will be a shame for none of my kids will not take over or be involved in it when you have such a dynasty. But it's not what we're building. It's very. I always say I'm not a businessman. I'm not into number. As long as it's plus, it's green, I don't care.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Because at the end we have to live, and I'm not running about the money. My work every day is not about how much I'm gonna make, even if it's a business. Is the customer is happy, and did I
If we
give
have a good
something?
time, because we like to have a good time too.
And I have a good time. I eat many times. I eat in my place, but it's hard for me to relax, of course. Because I look
We have
around.
a really good. We create events and stuff that are like our date night.
Yes.
So we really enjoy. I mean, we like to be busy and work, so we enjoy like working during the day, and then at night during the wine dinner, we can sit down and enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking and everything, but I make more joke. Nobody understand me. I always say, that's the way you don't understand me, but this is my night.
It was really funny.
This is my night, so you're part of it. Sorry, I apologize. But, this is my jam. I love it. So we're going to talk about it.
Well, you had mentioned the yoga studio, so there is some construction going on site. So that's a little bit of part of the future. Tell us a little bit about that, and then maybe where you see maybe the next few years going, and we can wind down.
Well, the yoga background is that I started doing and teaching yoga about almost 20 years ago, so about 19 years ago, whenever I was in Alabama. So I was at University of Alabama, and I started going to some yoga classes with a friend, and then I got really into it and did the teacher training and started teaching classes and all this stuff. Then whenever I was in Miami with him, I had graduated with my PhD, and I'm trying to find a job to use this PhD. And it turns out that there were a lot more, because you have to work at a university, so you just have to be lucky that you find a university locally that will hire you for anthropology. Okay, so during that job search, in the meantime, I started teaching yoga at various studios in Miami, and then I got really into Iyengar training, which is very regimented, and it's sort of like you do a dissertation whenever you go up in the levels. So it was really it matched well with my regimented academic background.
Wow.
So I was teaching like 20 classes a week, and that was what I did for a living while we lived in Miami. So then we moved here, and I said, well, that's it. I'm going to have to give up yoga because I'm teaching anthropology online. We're opening this business. We just had a kid, another one on the way. There's no way I can do yoga. Well, you saw me talking to some of the ladies that started, that were a part of the yoga group in the beginning on the day over there. Somehow they found out that I taught yoga, and they said, well, we're going to come and you can teach us. So we just
started showing up.
we had like a really, it wasn't really set this time. And I was watering the flowers, and they said, okay, we're here, we're going to. So I said, okay, let's go to the barn, let's do it. So we were doing it in the barn for a little while. That's the event venue, but it was becoming tiresome to try to clean it up after a wedding and then have yoga in there the next day. So I ended up teaching at a church in the basement. One of the ladies who was a member of that church asked me to teach there. So I've been doing that since the beginning, since 2016, since we opened. And so the story about the yoga studio on property is that downstairs we're growing of the building. We're growing mushrooms and microgreens.
We will. We're not done yet.
Yes, it's under construction
To use
right
in
now.
the restaurant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's something that we want year-round. I'm going to say it's easy to grow. It's not really that easy. You have to have a facility, but it's something that is doable for a small team. So we'll grow those mushrooms because we love them, and we can put them in everything. And microgreens because they're also excellent. So we were getting ready to put the roof on the building, and then my dad said, well, why don't we do another floor and you can have a yoga studio up there.
I love your dad.
So I said, gosh.
Yeah, now I need to find the money. I start to struggle.
So finally,
I was not playing at all.
Finally, I get to have my yoga studio on
Stress
site,
now.
and
stress.
I'll do the ropes. So they're sort of like the anti-gravity yoga, like with the hammock from the ceiling, but not on the ceiling, on the wall, and that's what a big Iyengar movement to do that. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so that is something maybe to be done the next 6 months, a year, thereabouts?
Yeah, you never know with construction, but but
You'll know when you know when you know, right?
You'll keep the pressure on Dad.
Don't commit to anything.
right.
Well, we won't hold you to any other commitments, but is there anything else on the horizon that you guys can?
I mean, if it works, I mean, we would love to do some retreat and with with all the 4 days with the food include and yoga and others. So for that, you need to add some more room, maybe not cabin, but some more room. Not too many of them.
That's a good
we
idea.
don't want to be an hotel, but end up to be if we have like 9 between the 3 cabin and 9 room and everything to be able to have 15 people
Yeah.
and do some retreat like that is something that it was in the plan when we did it to do like some retreat, and we never explored that yet. So maybe do that and. Since you have this room also, you can use it separate, where the people eat here separately from the restaurant and have the menu every day for 4 days and organize a program. Maybe something like that, because I cannot do more than what I have with the restaurant. I mean, we need to bring more people.
How many people can you host for events?
So you can do 200 in the event venue with that plus this. And my favorite is about 175. I mean, you can do 200, but I think it's a little tight. So I'd say 175 is best.
And the restaurant's going at the same time, or is this okay? So you can
Separate.
Wow.
We have a separate kitchen over there and a separate.
So
team
how many
for the
employees
event.
do you have?
We have 30.
30. Okay.
Is there a seasonality to the business to where are you guys ever closed?
No,
or,
we're never.
Okay.
We're only
I mean,
closed
this-
on Sunday and Monday. But it's definitely not as busy in the wintertime, maybe just because,
We open all year long, of course.
it's
The weather.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But it's seasonality in the sense of when there's a wedding season, you have much more business. When the weather is nice, you have much more business. And the winter, we're struggling. But I mean, this is my only business. I need to be open.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to be open. I have no choice.
This was really inspiring to hear your story, and I think with us also being a married couple that works together, it sounds like you kind of grew organically and like what you're passionate about. So like for you, part of it is yoga and wine, and I think we kind of had in the back of our mind that someday we might get into like wedding event spaces as well, because our name is Honeymoon and it just makes sense.
Right? Yeah.
And we also have an Airbnb on top of one of our locations, so we're kind of headed in that direction as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this was really cool to see.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess anything that you wish we would have asked you guys, or anything that maybe came up as you were going down memory lane that we wouldn't
That's
get
such a
to?
hard question, babe.
Well, before we started the podcast, you mentioned working out together, and we work out together.
Okay.
And I think that's a really great part of a husband-wife working team is that they also pump iron together.
Yeah, you gotta have the stress relief.
Yeah. Well, and you can, you're talking. That is something we didn't actually talk about that much. How are you all able to turn off the business talk when you need to, or do you find that it's kind of there's always some level of business talk that's
I think
going on at all
we
times?
always have business talk going.
It took her a while.
I would
Well,
say
I would say-
we always do as
Yeah.
well.
I would be going to sleep at night, and he would get his email open and talk to me about. And I said, "Stop it! You got to have a time where you don't talk about business." But now I do it too. So now we just eat and.
It's
breathe
almost harder
and-
when you try to make the rules.
We
Yeah.
try.
Then you just break them.
We try to escape. I need to go to France, so we try to do that in July. Bring the kids, see my parents, see some of my friends from high school, and we try to go long enough to be able to disconnect, even if we're working remotely, because I'm still doing the paperwork, taking care of the payroll, sending to my CPA, and deal with all the bad reviews that she's doing it. Deal with a good review also, thank God. Thank God we're more that good than bad. But we always have some problem to deal with. But it's still a moment that, each time I talk about business and we don't want to talk about it, I think about it, we we get the moments. It cannot be always like that. But when we opened, she couldn't get it. I say, you have no choice. That's the part of your life. Is not is our we. I mean, if she was working in different place, I was working in different place. You come at night and you talk about your day.
Yeah.
Us is our day are together. At the beginning, it was a bit like trying to find our own place. Now it's very defined. It's really. I don't even know. She doesn't want me to look at her email anyway. So that's it. I don't even look at it. At the end, I don't mind. I'm very happy. I pass her along. Hey, you want it? I'll give it to you.
That's relatable as well. Well, this was great. You guys have inspired us, as Jessica just said, and we hear great things in the community, and I do hope that you all get that feedback from others and you feel encouraged. And we appreciate you sharing the story with our folks at the Honeymoon Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We
All
had
right.
fun.
Cheers.
Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to the show this week. The Honeymoon Coffee Company podcast is produced in partnership with the Nectar Podcast Network, with music by Sam Cuban and podcast production by me, Wesley Luttrell. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back again soon.